All right. Main event time. Giga Chikadze defeats Edson Barboza. Round 3 TKO. So this fight, pretty super entertaining while it lasted. Both guys right off the hop were trying to implement a good leg kick game early. They kind of landed shin on shin a few times. So yeah, right off the hop, this is kind of just like a kickboxing matchup in a cage with 4-ounce gloves. Chikadze was doing a really good job of just stepping in and then splitting his own timing. Like he was taking like a lazy step in and then blasting forward, like a very like interesting style, almost kind of like reminded me of like Israel Adesanya, where he would just like step in at like halftime and then split his own timing. It was really interesting. And then at one point, he went for a big knee. Barboza almost ate a big knee early in the fight. Chikadze was doing a good job fighting off of his back foot, stepping back foot, and then switching stances. Kept Barboza guessing. Chikadze really turned it on, landed one of those big step-in knees. It was almost like Chikadze's volume was just kind of suffocating Barboza. Barboza was kind of just like retreating. Kind of expected, though. I thought Chikadze was live in the early portion of this fight, whereas Barboza would probably be live later because of just his conditioning, if he could withstand the storm. But, it just didn't come to fruition. I don't know. I just didn't know if it was sustainable for Chikadze at that pace. I thought the fight was going to turn at some point, and who knows, it might have turned if the fight continued. But in the end, like Chikadze really did a good job of working that double jab to start that third round, like his coach was telling him. I thought that one thing that was a big factor for me here, I had a bet on Chikadze, but I also had the over. So I was kind of sitting there waiting for 4.5 or 3.5 rounds to hit. But I thought one thing that concerned me with this Chikadze ticket was I was concerned Rafael Cordero, he kind of has like a knack for, telling his fighters that they're winning when they're not, or just like he's kind of just not. He's a good coach, but he's not necessarily a good cornerman. But he did a good job, and he started telling him to use that double jab to close distance. And that, I feel like that kind of changed the fight, because third round, Giga did a really good job putting the pressure on, using that double jab. He dropped Barboza again, and then he went for a submission attempt at one point, an anaconda at one point, and that was kind of the end of it. I got a motorcycle here. Yeah, Barboza escaped the anaconda, but Giga just kind of sat up and waited for him, which was really smart. He kind of looked at him and almost kicked him in the head while he was down. And then another straight left hand while he was just standing up, and Barboza goes down. Herzog stops the fight right there. Third round stoppage victory for Chikadze. What did you think about this one?
Yeah, this was an interesting fight. I was really looking forward to this one. I bet Edson Barboza in July. Well, I guess it's only 1 month ago. So last month. I started getting a bad feeling about it just because everybody seemed to be on Barboza, and that line really wasn't moving all that much. So it just felt like a spot where I was going to lose. Chikadze just kind of chipped away at him in round one. I'd say he got that round. Barboza came out a little bit rejuvenated in the second round, a little bit of a better approach there. I thought you could make the argument that he won that round. I personally thought he did. And then Chikadze just looked great in the third. Had a real chance at that submission, like the Anaconda, I think. Anaconda or Darce. That was really surprising. Really didn't think that I would have seen that in this fight at all. A lot of people obviously were saying that if there was going to be any grappling exchanges, obviously Barboza was going to be the one coming out on top there. And then Chikadze literally almost choked him out. I actually thought he was going to get it for a second. He just completely owned round 3, and he got the finish. Chikadze definitely, I'd say, is the real deal. He'll trade places with Edson in the rankings, I presume, move from 10 to 9. And, he's a legit top 10 guy at 145. We'll see who's next for him. Definitely interested to see the fight. Definitely showed us tonight that he can hang.
Yeah, like for me, the only reason, like I said, I saw a path to victory for both of these guys, and the only reason why I bet Chikadze was because I was saying this is a close fight, and I'm not going to not bet the main event, so I'm going to bet the plus money side because, like I
Yeah,
said, I thought Barboza late or Chikadze early because Chikadze is notoriously just falling off a cliff with his cardio. So I honestly I feel like if the fight continued, if Barboza was able to get to that fourth or fifth round, he might have had a much better chance. But what did you think about the stoppage? I thought the stoppage was okay, but I saw a bunch of people on Twitter saying that it was too soon. What did you think?
I didn't really have a problem with it, to be honest. I mean, Barboza really didn't look like he was really in the fight anymore at that point, if I'm being honest. I thought the stoppage was fine.
Yeah, like basically what you're saying when you're asking the ref to basically, you're asking the ref like, let me get knocked out. And that's not the ref's job, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like we've seen it before with the ref kind of, that UFC 265 fight with Derek Lewis. And yeah, that I think it was, I forget who that ref was, but that ref was just going to let Derek Lewis die before Cyril
Yeah,
Gane
I
was going
was
to win the fight.
shocked. I was
Yeah,
absolutely shocked.
but this was the opposite of that. And Jason Herzog is probably one of the best referees in the UFC. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, but I also had a ticket on Chikadze. So yeah, but I luckily my stakes were a little bit higher on Chikadze's. I did have the over, so that ended up not cashing. But yeah, he cashed at plus 300 by TKO, plus 245 inside the distance, under 3.5 rounds, cashed at plus 105. He now improves to 7-0 in the UFC, and he's turned a profit of 6.83 units on the money line since his 2019 debut. So this is a guy who's, people think that Giga Chikadze has come in as like a prospect. He's almost been an underdog, and I think he's been an underdog in 4 of his 7 fights. So he's definitely earned his keep in the UFC. He's not. It's not like he's been, one of these guys. He's not like, um, what's his name, O'Malley. He's not. He's not coming in as a minus 1,200 favorite in these fights. He's definitely earned his keep. So. I know he called out he wants to be the backup for the featherweight title fight that's
Yeah,
coming up. That's a little bit of a stretch. Calling out Max is a little bit of a stretch. I think the fight to make, I know that they rebooked Max and Yair. Uh, I don't know if he's ready or not, but I think the fight to make is Giga Chikadze and Calvin Kattar. What do you think about that?
yeah, I think that would definitely be a fun fight. Um, yeah, what's Cater? Cater's like 5th in the rankings right now.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Yeah, yes, he is 5th. And then Korean Zombie, I also does he have a fight coming up? I think he has a fight coming up too.
Is he booked?
Oh, maybe not.
I feel like
That would be a
he
good
he
one.
fought somewhat recently this summer.
Yeah, he fought no, he hasn't fought.
Well, he just fought Danny Ige like
Oh yes, yes, yes. Yeah, you're
a
right.
couple months ago.
What about Danny? Oh no, Danny is too too low for him, I think. I think he's got to fight either Cater or Korean Zombie.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a fight. I mean, he's undefeated in the UFC. I think it's time to throw him a bone with some of those top guys.
Yeah, with that being said, I feel like that might be too much for Calvin Cater coming off getting his brains turned to mashed
Yeah,
potatoes against Max
yeah. I
Holloway.
don't know if
So
Cater wants to fight right now. Chikadze definitely would take it though.
yeah, Cater might have to fight somebody like, I don't know, not even ranked. He might have to, yeah. So yeah, that was UFC Vegas 35. Um, Pretty interesting card, pretty entertaining card. It went super late, it's 3:50 in the morning right now while we're doing this, but that's okay.